My name is Kimberly Hoffman, and this is my resurrection story. I lived with verbal abuse most of my life. I felt I never quite measured up to expectations. I felt loved, but it was overshadowed with not being sure when I would mess up. Then it was boyfriends who belittled me and made sure I knew I needed to fall in line. Funny thing is, I would break up with them only to date another guy who was the same way. It was always subtle too. It was never something that most people would notice. It wasn't yelling or screaming. It was little comments, manipulations, stonewalling. I came to the conclusion that it was my fault. I always thought that the problem was me. But slowly, the light bulb started going off, and I started realizing this was not the way a relationship was supposed to go. And then I met a man who loved me even when I was a complete mess. And he's walked with me through the pain and the growth, and that was my husband, Paul. He never tried to tell me who to be. He gave me time to learn and to see the path that God was putting in front of me. And there were times when I grew tired of the process, when I grew tired of crying and wondering if I would ever break free of the strongholds. And these strongholds keep wanting to tell you that you're not worthy and that you're not beautiful and that you're not wanted. And you have to fight them very hard, and it's not easy. And then God also showed me that if I was going to believe the things that He said in the Bible about who He was, but I didn't believe who He said I was, then I was calling Him a liar. That I couldn't believe one without the other, because that's who He said I was. And so I had to believe it all. And that made a huge change and started really breaking off a lot of the strongholds. And 10 years later, I can stand here and say that I feel like my healing is almost complete. I won't say it's perfect, but it's almost. And for others that are in this situation and you feel like you're not loved, know that God does, and there's hope. And He's calling you out of that grave. And all you have to do is make the choice to listen to Him and to follow Him. And that's my resurrection story.